Creativity Club, based in Shrewsbury, is entering its fifth year of Scienceful operation. Robotics and science classes at Khelcc have become immensely popular among children and parents in central Massachusetts. Classes led by Greg Carlson, world champion in robotics with deep experience in designing and programming of autonomous and manually controlled robotic creations, are aimed at helping children understand the interconnections between sensors, motors, and the brick through drag-and-drop programming interface. Traditional languages like Java are also used with LeJOS on Lego EV3 platform. Greg teaches Arduino configurations and programming as well. Middle and high school age children can learn how to create their own electronic devices using flexible, reusable, and scalable Arduino and Rasberry Pi circuitry. Imagining and designing objects using Blender 3D software and printing them using MakerBot Replicator is another class offered to children at Khelcc. IT programming, including Java, Python, SQL, Linux, are some other classes highly sought after by parents and enjoyed by children. In addition, chemistry and physics subjects are introduced to middle school age children to prepare them to face SAT and AP subject tests with confidence in later years. Parents can be assured of the quality of classes as their tutors are high achievers in academics, as evidenced by the fact that nearly 50% of their 2014-15 tutors are now attending Ivy League colleges. More information about their programs can be found at khelcc.com. This report is brought to you by Foundations TV, an online media company spreading inspiration through awareness.
Welcome to Foundations TV, everybody. We are here today on location at Khel, which is an innovative learning center in Shrewsbury. And we are seeing the full action of a robotics class today. And we have a chance to speak with a few participants. And we have the youngest one probably in the room. What is your name?
Anuj.
Anuj, how old are you?
7.
Oh, wow. And what school are you in?
Armstrong.
In Westboro. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And is this your first time here at Khel?
No.
You've been coming here before?
Yeah.
And what do you do when you come here?
I build projects and program them.
And the projects are, describe a project to us. What is it all about?
So, this project is a line follower and it's supposed to follow a line.
And is that a robot you're building?
I already built it, but it is a robot.
And do you do programming as well?
I do that at home.
And who helps you at home?
My dad.
Is your dad here with you? Where is he? So let's speak to the dad. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Vinod.
Okay, and Vinod, from what I hear, you are an IIT graduate yourself, and you are helping your son and others probably here as well with robotics. Is that right?
Mostly him. He started off really young. I have an older boy that was coming until last month, but he's actually doing the first Lego League thing, so he's just taken a break this month. But yeah, so he sort of does it on his own, and this one is it's a little too young for him, so he needs a little more help.
So how long has your older son been coming here for?
Actually, we both started about a year back, late last summer.
And how is the experience?
It's been really good. Again, I like this type of stuff, so I'm always excited, and they seem to like it a lot. And there's lots of cool projects. There's a lot of good energy here with always lots of kids doing cool stuff. And they have a few friends here too, so it's really good.
So you said your son is participating, your older son is participating in the Lego League.
Yes, for the first time. He's joined a group that is doing the FLL competition in November. So they're just starting.
So they do have the challenge that's given to them, and they're preparing for that?
Yes, the challenge just came out. So a few of his friends just met over the summer just to get started. But now the challenge has been released, so they've just built the actual set, and they're starting to build their project.
And what are your aspirations as far as Anuj is concerned with robotics?
I don't know. Mr. Reddy here, when we started off, seems to have a lot of different things here. So for us, it's more just have them do fun stuff. If he gets bored of the NXT, we have the other EV3 projects, there's other programming and things that he can do. So really, we're sort of keeping it open based on their interests, as long as they're having fun and learning.
So typically, how much time do you spend here during a week?
So we're here on an average about somewhere between 1 hour to 2 hours on Sunday, and then we try to do a bit of programming at home. So maybe about half hour that we program the projects at home, and then they play around a little bit. So maybe another. Do you think another hour at home maybe?
Well, do you like it here, Anuj?
A little.
Well, let's talk about that little part that you like. So, what do you like about being here?
Building the robots. And I get to go inside there and look at the microscope.
Some cool stuff there.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best. Enjoy yourselves today. All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to Foundations TV, everybody. We are here at Khel, an innovative learning center in Shrewsbury, and we are seeing a full class of robotics in action. And we're having a chance to speak with a few students who are participating in the class. And we have with us Vinny. Hi, Vinny. Welcome to Foundations TV.
Thank you for putting me on. Khel is a really great place to learn. The robotics part of it combines two of my favorite things, Legos and robotics. And then they also have some nice tutors to help you whenever you get stuck.
And how often do you come here?
I come here every week, once on Sunday, but you can also come on Saturdays.
And how long do you typically spend over here?
I usually come around 10, and then it varies from week to week on how long we stay.
So every week, do you work on a different project, or do you have a long project that you're working on and you come back every week and build upon it?
So sometimes you just choose a project that you want to work on, then you build on it until you finish that. Then you can program that project. When you want to build a new project, then you break your old project and build the new one. So I guess it's kind of like you keep on building on something.
Sure. And how do you come up with projects? Does somebody tell you what projects, or do you come up with your own?
You can either come up with your own projects, or Lego already has some set projects that you can use.
So what do you like about coming to Khel?
I like that it's kind of a free-for-all environment. You get to decide what you do. It's not like a set curriculum. Like you have to do this first, then that, then this. And then also I've been learning some SQL. So you can either do something like SQL, robotics, and then they also have a science and technology kind of section. It's kind of a very fun learning environment with a lot of different options to choose from.
So who is teaching you SQL?
The owner of Khel, Mr. Reddy, taught me some SQL.
That's pretty impressive. So tell us about the project that you're working on currently.
Right now I've just broken my previous project, which would grab something up and move it around. But right now I'm working on something called the spiker, which can shoot. It looks like a scorpion, and it can shoot red balls.
That sounds like fun. Now, how far along are you in that project?
I just started this week, so not very far.
And how many hours do you think you're going to need to finish this up?
I'm not sure.
You just kind of go with the flow and figure it out as you go along. That's good. That's good. Well, thank you so much, Vinny. Do you have to say anything to the other boys out there or other kids out there who might be interested in robotics?
You should definitely come to Khel. It's a really great place. You learn a lot from it. and I just love coming here.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts today.
Thank you for having me on Foundations TV.
You're welcome. Welcome to Foundations TV, everybody. We are here on location at Khel, which is an innovative learning center, and pretty innovative. I can see there's a lot of kids working on some wonderful projects on robotics. So, would you like to introduce yourself first, please?
My name is Elijah.
Elijah, how are you doing today?
Good.
And what are you working on?
Robot.
Is there a specific robot you're building for a specific purpose?
I think it's reptile or something.
It's called a reptile, so it's that snake that we were talking about before. Yeah.
So, how did you just start it?
Huh?
Did you just start working on it today?
Yes.
Okay. And who decided what you're going to be building?
I think somebody else did.
Okay. All right. Are you having fun?
Yep.
Is this your first time at Khel?
No.
How long have you been coming here for?
2 days.
Oh, okay. So, second time, and how do you like it so far?
Good. It really challenges my brain.
Is that what you like about it? What else do you like about it?
I always wanted to do robotics when I was younger, too.
And I see you have a friend who's not around here right now, but you were working with a friend on this project as well?
He's actually my brother.
Oh, he is. Okay, wonderful. So that's good. So it's kind of a play and it's kind of a fun time together as well. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Gokul. I just teach robotics here. I've been doing that for about a year.
At Khel itself?
Yeah, at Khel, yeah.
What do you do otherwise?
I'm actually on the Shrewsbury High School robotics team too. So this is like a good way for me to just use what I learned there, and I can help these kids out too.
And what do you like about Khel?
Kale's just, I don't know, it's just a great way to help these kids get started. I can see like they all have lots of interests, but then with a little bit of guidance, they can make things that they didn't really know was out there, like robotics and stuff, and that really gets them into it.
That's wonderful. And are you here every weekend?
Yeah, I'm here usually every Wednesdays or Mondays, and but when he needs me, he calls me on the weekends too when I come in.
All right. And is that you who plans the projects, or Mr. Reddy decides that and tells you?
Yeah, it's usually me and the people that work with the children. We give them a list of options, and they like to pick which ones they like. So today I gave them like around 5 options, and he and his brother both like the reptile snake one, so we decided we'd start with that.
And how do you come up with those options?
With whatever building instructions are available, and we just assess the difficulty and what the kids are capable of, and he's very capable, so I gave him a bit of advanced projects, and they've made a good choice.
So when you make a decision about the project or the options that you're going to offer them, do you keep the timeline in mind as well? How long what do you expect from the kids? How long it's going to take them to build it?
Yeah, exactly. So the difficulty, usually one of the biggest parts is how long the project is. Like, this is a very long project. So part of it is he has to stay interested, and they obviously show a lot of passion, so I don't think that'll be a problem. I think they can go forward for a lot of weeks with this.
So do you recommend Khel to other kids out there?
Oh, without a doubt, yes, of course. I wish I had known that this was here when I was a child. I used to do Legos a lot, but I never got into the robotics part. I used to build like without any of the brains or anything, but I think it's a great way for kids to get their engineering career started, and maybe they'll join the high school team too.
So speaking of you, when did you develop interest in robotics, and what was the first time you started working on a team together for this?
Robotics, I never started until I was in high school. 9th grade, my friend said I should join the robotics team, and I did, and it was just like an instant. I loved it. But Legos, yeah, that was one of my favorite toys when I was growing up. I used to ask for Legos on my birthday and everything, and I used to build, like, as I got older, I used to build big projects. And now with the high school team, we've competed even at the world level. We went to St. Louis one year for the championships, and so it's a great team, and I just love doing it now.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now there are two different, and this we may edit out, but just for my own sake, there are two different levels, right? There's a Lego robotics, and there's some. Can you describe those?
So FLL is the first Lego league, and so our high school team, which is FRC, which is the first robotics competition, we coach 9 Lego teams, and they're from the middle school level. So we take those kids, they have their own competition, they have their own guidelines, and we just help them build those, and then they compete. And then with their mentoring, we also make our own robotics with has different guidelines as well, and we compete as well. So, and then usually those middle schoolers, when they come to the high school, they automatically are just ready to jump into the robotics level. And so it's like a long chain that keeps going.
Okay, so how many hours of robotics do you reserve for yourself every week?
We have a build season that's 6 weeks, and in that build season, every student has to do 120 hours over a 6-week period. Yeah, so most of my Saturdays are just 12 hours of robotics, but I love it, so it's great.
That's good. So everything you're learning in your life, you're also having a channel to, dispense it out and teach the younger kids and generate some interest. So that's wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Thanks for sharing your thoughts today. And thank you and all the best.
You're welcome.
Welcome to Foundations TV, everybody. We are here on location at Khelcc, which is an innovative learning center in Shrewsbury. And we are capturing some action today of the robotics class. We have some young brains here, I would say, and some fantastic hands working on little projects and an instructor. So why don't we start with you? Why don't you introduce yourself first?
My name is Shrewsbury. I am a junior at Mass Academy of Math and Science in WPI.
And what are you working on today?
We're working on one of the more basic robots, like the first one that we start out with. It's called the Tracker, and it's for these guys here because they're just starting out on robotics. So it's a good way to learn about how robots are normally built.
And how did you come up with this project?
Well, it's one of the things that we normally do when someone new comes to Khelcc. We introduce them with robotics using one of these guys, and it's kind of introduced them to how robots work in general. They have a brain, they use motors to move around.
So what's your experience with robotics, personal experience?
Around 5th grade to 8th grade, I used to be in FRC, which was Lego Robotic tournaments. And around freshman year of high school, I joined the VEX Robotics team at the Shrewsbury High School, which I used to go to. Then this year as a junior, I joined Mass Academy, which is connected to WPI, and WPI has a really good robotics program. So I joined a bunch of robotics courses there, such as Savage Soccer, which is a VEX competition, First Robotics. I'm on the 190 team, and I thinking they might actually start introducing BattleBots this year because we had like a kind of mini competition about it a few days ago, actually.
So you said you started robotics in middle school, and here you see kids starting robotics very early on. They're obviously very young. We're going to talk to them as well. But what do you have to say about this process? How soon do you think kids should start working on robotics?
Well, I think it's important if kids are interested in something, even if it's robotics, if it's a sport or something, that they should start as early as possible, because even if it's something kind of advanced that a freshman in high school would learn, if they're interested in it, they should just follow their passions.
And start early on?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, let's see who we have here today. What's your name?
Sydney,
Sydney, how old are you?
6.
Oh my goodness me. Is that the first time you're working on a robotics project?
Yes.
Are you having fun?
Yes.
Is that your favorite thing now?
Yes.
What else do you do?
I don't know.
Like, what other games do you play at home?
Legos.
Oh, wow. So that adds on to your skill that you're learning here. Are you learning a lot of good things here?
Yes.
So tell us about what you're building.
I don't know.
Are you following instructions from the teacher? Is that how it's going?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you have in your hand? What are you trying to do right now?
Building the wheel.
Okay. And that wheel is going to get attached to something?
Yes.
What is it going to get attached?
The robot.
And where is the robot? Can you pick it up and show it on the camera? Are you excited to see it work?
Yeah.
Do you think you can make it work?
Yes.
How long do you think it's going to take you to get it done?
I don't know.
Well, if I'm around, are you going to show me when it's done?
Yes.
Okay. And if we get it done before I leave, we can probably catch it on camera as well. Sounds like fun? Okay. All the best, Sydney. And what is your name?
My name is Thomas.
Hi, Thomas. Welcome to Foundations TV. Tell us what you're working on.
We're working on a robot that's called a tracker.
Tractor?
Tracker.
A tracker. Okay. And what are you building? What do you have in your hand?
Nothing, I'm just playing with this thing.
But you have the screen here. What do you do with that screen?
Read the instructions.
Okay. Is this your first time doing robotics here at Khelcc?
Yes.
Do you like it here?
Yes.
What do you like?
I like that we can build robots that we can activate to do anything.
Do you build robots at home as well?
No, but I have really a lot of Legos and I try to build some robots with them.
So this is the first time you're trying true robotics here at Khelcc?
Yes.
Wonderful. Do you think you're going to be able to finish some big robotic projects throughout the year?
Maybe.
Are you looking forward to it?
Mhm.
Okay, wonderful. We wish you all the best. Welcome to Foundations TV, everybody. We are here on location at Khelcc, which is an innovative learning center in Shrewsbury. And we are here with some really smart kids who are building some smart robotic projects. So why don't we start with you? Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us something about the project that you're building today?
So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to make a line follower. So the robot's trying to follow a black line, and it's trying to go around the circle.
I'm Aryan. So we're just making a black line follower. So then it'll go forward. But if it isn't at the black line, then it'll turn one way. But if it's not at the black line, the other way, then it'll just turn to it.
Okay. All right. So, what is the most challenging part for you to build for this particular project? What's the hardest part?
I don't know.
Is it the whole project itself? Is it hard?
Yeah.
Is this the first time you're working on this particular project? Did you start today?
No, I've tried it once and it failed.
All right. So, how about you? What is the hardest part for you?
We're trying to make it go both ways, so it can go one way, this way, or it can go this way.
And could you tell us how long have you been coming to Khelcc for?
I've been coming for, I think, at least 1 month.
Okay. And you like it here?
I love it.
What do you like about it?
Like growing up, I've been like so interested in technology, so I decided I would try robotics. So yeah.
How about you? Do you like it here?
Yeah.
What do you like about coming to Khelcc?
That you can do what you want, but the teachers guide you instead of just doing it for you.
So you like your instructor?
Yep.
Speaking of your instructor, could you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Nimish.
And Nimish, how old are you?
I'm 15.
Are you in high school?
Yeah.
Did you just join high school this year?
I joined high school last year.
Okay.
More now.
Okay. And are you doing robotics outside of Khelcc as well?
Yeah, I do FRC and VEX, which are high school competitions. And they're lots of fun. It's like, what I like about this is that you can start small and then you learn a lot of fundamental principles which help you later on in your career.
So at Khelcc, how long have you been associated with Khelcc?
I've just been working since the end of July, so I'm pretty new here.
Do you like it here?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
What do you think is the best part about Khelcc?
I think the best part is like seeing how these kids start off dependent and needing your help to making them strong and independent and being able to think for themselves and making their own programs rather than just following an instruction manual.
So did you decide the project that these two kids are working on today?
Yeah, I decided it, but they've been doing it mostly by themselves. I've just been helping them a little bit here and there.
Okay, all right. So for how long do you stay here typically when you come here on Sundays?
I usually stay here for 3 hours.
And it's all robotics talk for 3 hours?
Yeah, it's mostly robotics.
Do you think it helps you as well? Does it motivate you when you go back?
Yeah, it really helps me, especially it's like reviewing the fundamental principles, helping, like, it really improves my teaching skills and working with others. So I really like it here.
Okay, so is it the same group of kids you would work with every week, or does that change?
It's usually the same group, but it changes once in a while, depending if there's new people who come in or somebody who doesn't come in one day.
Okay, all right, wonderful. So what are you looking forward to going, throughout this academic year? What are you looking forward for?
I'm looking forward to kids who are independent, maybe doing a lot more complex projects. Like, we started off simple, just doing one task, but doing many, combining many things, and basically making a robot look really cool.
What do you have to say to other kids out there who may be thinking of starting or generating interest in robotics?
I think you should really try it. I mean, it might be boring at first, but if you continue with it, it gets really fun. And just always never let anybody else do anything for you. Just always think for yourself. Never give up. It can be hard at times. Don't get frustrated.
So going back to both of you, do you want to show us on camera what you've built so far?
Sure. First, this should just shut down a little bit. Just on this. It's gonna take a little while. So yeah, it's gonna like go around the black circle, obviously. Yeah.
So does it move right now?
It's gonna. We're on it right now, and then we're gonna put it over there, and we're gonna start the program. So yeah.
Can you give us a demonstration?
Yeah. Yeah. So as you can see right now, it's like I just already the black line. What?
Yeah, sure.
Backwards! Oh! I'm a student. You know what? So as you can see, I already told it follows the black line easily. Yeah.
Cool.
Figure out a way, it can go both ways, this way and this way.
Okay, got it. So right now it's making only left turns.
Yep, it's only going this way. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you. Welcome to Foundations TV, everybody. We are here on location at Khel, which is an innovative learning center, and we are probably in a room which is the most innovative center within this center. So we have Rohit here with us. Welcome to Foundations TV again, Rohit, and tell us what you're working on.
So right here, this is the Arduino platform for robotics and just general coding. So this is the Arduino compiler. This language is based off C++, and it. So right now here I have a chasing lights demo sequence here. Chasing lights, if you can see the little LEDs here.
Can we lift it up?
Yeah.
Like that, maybe? Yeah. Oh, cool.
It's a sequence where the light looks like it's being chased around. So it has 7 different pin outputs, and we start here with from Y. So we have an integer. So this is in the setup block. This code runs only once, and you have to declare this as an output. And so this is the loop where it keeps on going forever and ever and ever. And we cycle from this LED to the other LED with a digital write sequence. And so as one LED turns on, the next one has to turn off. So we keep cycling through from here all the way back here, and that is the chasing light sequence that I wrote with Greg last weekend.
That's cool. So does it look like a motherboard programming to me, or is it something else? Where is this used?
This is a robotics platform at its core, but it can be used for many other things like this or hobbyist experiments. So this is an open source thing, so it's like the Raspberry Pi. You can use it for anything you want.
So this is like it goes inside a robot?
What? Yeah, you can fit it inside a robot. It can. This can be used for millions of different things.
And how long have you been working on this?
6 weeks on and off. With cycling with Java. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine.
And are you having fun with it?
I'm having a lot of fun with it. I've been learning with Greg all these different things, and Khelcc too. He's not here today. And yeah.
Okay, wonderful. And how long do you expect this particular project to go on for?
This chasing lights demo is already set, but I'll probably continue with the Arduino because there's like infinite opportunities inside this board itself. So also we're doing Java, which is one more language, and that's a very powerful language. You can use it for basically anything.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Welcome to Foundations TV, everybody. We have here with us Mr. Greg Carlson, who is a world champion of robotics. He, of course, has tons and tons of experience that he's sharing with little kids and some older kids here as well. And he is leading the robotics initiative at Khelcc, which is a very innovative learning center here in Shrewsbury. And we are here privileged to talk to Greg. So welcome to Foundations TV, Greg.
Thank you.
So tell us something about what you do in robotics.
So in robotics, I've mainly been focused on the VEX robotics platform, which is something we're working on integrating here at Khelcc. I've been doing it for the past 8 years. This season upcoming will be my 9th that I've been competing with it. So most of what I've been doing with it is obviously the mechanical engineering aspect, a lot of the computer science aspect, which is what Rohit just demonstrated here with the Arduino platform, as well as the electrical engineering aspect, sensors, telemetry, things like that.
Now, I was introduced to you when Mr. Reddy was telling me about you. He said you're the world champion. Now, can you elaborate a little bit on that aspect of your personality?
Yeah, certainly. So I've been competing for the past 5 years. I've been making it to the world's level. Back in 2013 with my team at the high school level, we competed in Anaheim, California with roughly 480 other teams from around the world. And throughout qualification rounds, we placed first in our division, which allowed us to be, the number one alliance. We had the best pick. We were able to pick 2 teams we thought we'd work very well with, and apparently we're correct with that instinct, as we were able to go through all the way and beat all the other divisional champions.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you said you were part of the high school team?
Yes, back then it was with the high school team.
How long ago was that?
That would be almost 4 years ago now.
And what are you doing now? Are you full-time into robotics, or are you doing other things as well?
Currently, I'm a full-time student. I study at Johnson & Wales in Providence. I study robotics engineering.
Okay, all right. So that makes sense. So you were a world champion, you're studying for the robotics. So tell us something about what you do at Khelcc.
So here at Khelcc, I'm, for the most part, focused on I'm helping guide the robotics curriculum. I'm not directly teaching it. For the most part, I work with their programming curriculum, such as the Arduino programming in C++. I teach some Java programming and Python programming here as well.
So do you have a lot of students here who are interested at that level, or have they reached that particular level?
So in terms of programming in general, every weekend I have about 4 or 5 students regularly that we work with, as well as in the past there's been other students working in the Python programming realm as well. So we do have relatively strong interest here.
That's good to know. Now, for the kids out there who might be thinking of it, what is the prerequisite to come and start learning from you?
They just need to have a desire to learn.
Wonderful. And so no previous experience is required at all in robotics?
Nope, none at all. We take students anywhere from, been working with robots and Legos and things like that for years to they've never touched it in their life. They'll still be able to come here and get something great out of it.
But is there a standard path that when they come in, they start with the basic robotics and then they go into higher level programming that you're teaching them?
I mean, typically it starts out with the Lego robotics because there's a lot of good tutorial work out there for both the actual mechanical structures as well as the programming side of things. So it definitely helps them to get involved and start at that level and get their feet wet. And then typically they work up to like the Java programming and the C programming.
So for this Java and C programming, Rohit and Khelcc, I believe, is also part of the team who's learning from you. Have they been working on the Lego robotics for quite a while now?
Yes, they had been working on it for quite a while before I even got here as a tutor. And then at that point, once I was here, they were starting to work with like the Raspberry Pi platform and whatnot. And then once I got here, we added in the Arduino and the Java platforms.
Wonderful. And how long ago did you start with Khel?
I started roughly, I believe about 4 or 5 months ago now.
And what are you looking forward to at Khel?
I'm looking forward to most being able to give back what I've learned and help out the youth.
That's wonderful. And would you like to give a message out there, since you're so passionate about robotics, to people who may be listening to this interview? Would you have to talk about robotics as such? What does it do does it add to the personality or the, just in general development of people?
I mean, for me, competitive robotics was, I used to be an extremely shy kid. I got into doing competitive robotics, and most of just my friends and social group that I know today have come from robotics. I used to have no idea what I wanted to do. Pursuing robotics and automation as a career, for me, robotics has been a life-changing path. So if there's a chance that it could be for you, why not give it a try?
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Welcome to Foundations TV, everybody. We are here on location at Khel with a very smart kid, Vikram. And Vikram here is going to demonstrate to us something really cool. It is a 3D printer which Khel houses here. And they are doing something fun with it. So welcome to Foundations TV, Vikram.
Thank you. As you know, my name is Vikram, and I'm the lead instructor of the 3D printing division here at Khel. So here at Khel, we have a MakerBot Replicator 2, and it's one of the more higher-end versions of 3D printing printers. So we have this Replicator 2, and we also have a handheld scanner, and we also have a Replicator MakerBot scanner as well.
So what are you currently working on?
Sure. So actually, we're 3D printing a Pokemon, but we actually modified it in a software that we use called Blender, and so it's going to be an abstract version of that, but made by Flowalistic, which is a designer on Thingiverse.
Okay. So how long have you been working on at Khel? Let's say that.
Sure. So I've been working at Khel for the past 2.5 years, roughly. And 3D printing, I've been working for around 1.5, 2 years. So yeah, it's definitely been an experience, and I know that I've had a lot of fun with it, for sure.
So tell us something about the 3D printing as such. What is it? What exactly, for people out there who may not know what that is?
Sure. So I'm sure that a lot of people are familiar with printing with paper and just ink as well. So 3D printing is basically a modified version of that, where we have this plastic filament almost, which is kind of like a big spool of thread, which is made out of plastic. And so the printer, what it does is it heats up something called an extruder, which is basically almost like a funnel, and it squeezes that thread through the extruder, and it makes an object layer by layer. And as the plastic eventually hardens and the layers slowly start to build up, it makes basically any single object that you want. And what's really cool about it is you can design your own things, you can print things that people have already made, and there's a big community around it. So it's definitely something that I'm personally interested in, and I know a lot of other kids will be interested in as well.
So how do you tell the printer what to print?
Sure. So obviously, first we can design the object, and here at Khel we use one of the more, mainstream softwares, which is Blender. And we also have expertise in everything from Creo to SolidWorks and other softwares as well. And once you do that, this printer specifically, you can either connect it with a cord directly from your computer to the printer, or there's actually an SD card option, where as long as it's the right file type, then we can basically print it out.
So there is a designing process that goes on. There's a software that helps you do that. There's also a scanning process you can use?
Yep, there is. So actually, we can basically scan any single object as long as it fits within the parameters. And with the handheld scanner and also the desktop scanner, we can pretty much scan any object. So I know in the past I've actually scanned a bust of myself using the handheld scanner, and I've actually printed that out. So it's really, really neat what you can do with just a couple of tools.
So if you were to scan something which is a large item, can you scale it down?
Yeah, sure. So you can scale it down. You can modify it using the software such as Blender, or you can even add objects to it. So you can modify someone's face and print it out, or you can scale it down just so that maybe it takes a little bit less time to print. So depending on what you want, you can pretty much do anything with it.
So correct me if I'm wrong, is there a full curriculum around 3D printing itself?
Right, yeah, sure. In Khelcc, there is, in fact, a 3D printing curriculum. Actually, Gokul and I, another one of the head instructors for 3D printing, we actually together designed a pretty basic 3D printing curriculum, which starts from everything from looking up files online to designing your own and texturing your own model. So we have that here at Khelcc, and it's definitely something that it takes it step by step and can surely be very, very beneficial if you want to learn how to 3D model and print.
Now, what is the age group of the students that you would typically see here for this particular curriculum?
Right, sure. So for the 3D printing curriculum, we usually recommend middle schoolers up, so roughly around 5th grade. But anyone, honestly, who's interested in it and anyone who's passionate about it can surely take this on, because it's definitely not something that's really complicated to learn or anything. It's just that it just takes a lot of time and effort just to learn, and you really have to enjoy it if you want to, I guess, do well in it. And it's definitely something that's very, very very fun to do.
I can see that, and I see there's a lot of different things that are going on at Khelcc on a weekend. It looks like there's so much to learn, so much positive energy, and so much technological energy floating around that you can absorb. So what do you have to say to people out there who may be considering joining Khelcc?
Right, so if anyone's considering joining Khelcc, I would say as long as your son and daughter is interested in robotics, is passionate about going into, say, engineering or comp sci in the future, and they really want to just delve into this, because I know a lot of these industries, especially the robotics industry, the 3D printing industry, are really taking off right now. So anyone who's interested in it, I'd definitely say go for it, because it's an additional level of exposure that definitely can't hurt. And I know that all the programs and all the curriculum that we offer here is surely gonna get a really nice foundation and start for what lies ahead.
That sounds like a good way to put it. There's an exposure that kids won't usually get in public schools. So this is a whole new opportunity that has opened up right here in Shrewsbury. So if you're considering joining Khelcc, it would be a wonderful idea to come and explore and see if that's something that your kids would be interested in. Thank you so much, Vikram, and all the best.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.